Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some Esper Midrange, as I like to call it Esper Flappy Bird, because we are playing a lot of flyers. We are a tempo deck where we want to establish threats early, play Rafine to go over the top, and then finish the game with Shieldred and the Deepest Betrayal Bat. And we use little things like Invasion of Amonkhet to do little tricky things as well. Outside of that, we're just going to go ahead and hop into the games. I hope you all enjoy them, and then if you do enjoy my content, please be sure to subscribe. I truly appreciate it, and let's just get out there and game. We go first. Wow, this hand seems whack, but I think it's funny. So we're gonna keep and hope we can hit it. It'll take a little bit of work. Plaza is a little bit awkward in this hand because it doesn't pay for invasion unless we have a black legendary out. Oh, we hit it because we're nuts. Activating in probably the wrong order here, but Gunner seems fine to play. I'm actually going to let it go. Attack here. Then it's going to be invasion after invasion after invasion. Okay. Boards off. It'll be potentially a tough matchup. It's the angel version of the deck. Or, yeah, there's a go for the throat, just clean cut here. I can always play Rafine next turn after we do the invasion. 3 lands off the top, thank you, I guess. Holy, it really was about to flood us, and in the worst way possible with Seacrum Coast coming off the top. Oh, and the 4th land in a row. Okay. Wow. Sick. We've kept a 2-lander. We have 2 more lands in our hand, and we build over 3 more. My bad. I guess I should have kept that schooner. Okay. There's 6 lands in a row. Who would have thought? Welcome to the Thunderdome. Population us. Why does invasion again at this point? I'll play Shieldred actually. Some use a removal spell, and if it is just removal, then it can take up their entire turn, hopefully. So what do you have for 1 black mana? Yeah, that makes sense. But now they can get close. Well, they can actually do something weird, worst case scenario for us. Won't be able to play the gumdrop, so I guess it won't work. Idea being that if they were able to sacrifice the food, the voice would go up, and then they could play the gumdrop, and it would enter, dealing the damage, or dealing its whatever, and that would be 4 life, so they can make Shieldred in 0-1, and that would just be cool. And yeah, I'm gonna draw. Ah, okay, 7th land in a row. Genuinely, there was this, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's wild. And all my lands currently in hand come in tap, because why would they not? This is 3 to activate. Sure. Because the worst part is, even if I just milled over a creature, that would be fine. Force interaction. This is great for us because Shieldred comes off the board and they don't get free life gain off of it every turn. At this point, we might have to use the Rafine's Tower to cycle. But they get to hit us for a ton here. Lose some life. Gain life twice. Another land drop makes the play from before available. Alright. I have to remove this at some point, but I have a sneaky suspicion that we might gain life before then. Or we might draw more lands before then. Sure. This is not real, dude. What on earth? We kept a 2-lander, I think. Huh. I mean, for my sanity at this point. I have to find removal. I mean, that like kind of works. How does this read? We have enter the copy field, except 4/4 zombie to distance to its other type. I mean, I'll find out if they don't block, but I assume we're gonna get a block here. They're gonna want to play that other side. Then it's gonna have indestructible, but we'll turn it into a treasure, so it won't like matter. I don't think it's hexproof, does it? Yeah, indestructible. That also doesn't take it off the battlefield. I might just be dead though. 8, 11. No other creature. Not sacking the food either. I come in from them. Restless Fortress is bad, so they can attack and drain. Hey, we finally drew a non-land card. Who would have thought? So we could play Bat to kind of act as like a blocker. But we're just going to take away the voice regardless. Or at least now. Could have batted first, I guess. It's material. I definitely should have batted first. This is like a go for the throat. Oh, I didn't read that wrong. Okay. Sweet. Nice treasure. Sure. Play our Deep Cavern Bat. Just going to use the treasure. You're going to give up your 10/10 potentially. What? I know. Oh, just wait for removal, dude. You could have. Oh no. Oh no. That's something else. I'm gonna keep forcing interaction here. I can't believe they gave that up. That stays as a 10/10, right? Because it would have all the counters still. It doesn't take it off the battlefield. Doesn't take it away. I don't think. Unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But you have to be somewhat careful here, by the way, because Restless Fortress is kind of dangerous. But because they used the gumdrop, we're not afraid to trade off our Deep Cavern Bat at any point. I'm going to try to stop complaining about it because variance is variance regardless. Well, this is about as soft of an attack as you can get, so our bat's blocking, but I get it. I guess we could have just traded it off, but I like holding his 2/3 back. It's a solid flyer that can keep trading off things in the air. Sure. Go do it. I guess I didn't think of that. A little bit of an oopsie poopsie on my part, I suppose. Let us play Invasion. Get that last card out of their hand. There's 2 more lands. I'm not even kidding. I know I'm complaining about it a lot, but dude, stop with the lands. They could play 2 more things and gain some life. I could play another Invasion here. We'll definitely be attacking the Invasion regardless. Just have to make sure we're not dead on the back end. But if this hits, then we're not, because it's 1, 3, 9. I guess we could play Spyglass, activate. This is not a land. I would say we're definitely keeping on top, but of course it's shielded of all things. I mean, I'm still gonna keep there because I'm gonna barrel this. We block. We block with. There. Slowly whittling it down. I'm gonna look. Ellie. Resplendent Angel. I mean, Resplendent Angel makes sense in those decks. realistically, based on what they're playing, we're gonna target a lot of their stuff more than ours. Alright, so they tap out, and the fortress here is good. I mean, I think taking this trade regardless is nice, especially when we have this coming down. Oh. Now, of course, keep blocking Shieldred, although this doesn't have really any value. Like, it draws a card, I guess. We draw a Shieldred. The trigger will gain some more life. Of course, I mean, I'm just going to continue the same game plan over and over again. A few more turns, we will do this. Maybe 3, if you feel like you have to leave back your gumdrop. But now, you get to actually progress. Do this. 4 lifelink when it attacks. So they must discard a card, and if they can't, we draw a card. For each opponent can't, you draw a card whenever an opponent discards a land card. Create a 1/1 black bat. Opponent flying. When it dies, return to battlefield tapped. It's a creature or a land. Sorry. Happens immediately. Sure. All fine and good. They can activate. No, the cavern's left, but they can technically activate the fortress, but it doesn't do anything. It just becomes a tap land. Tap creature land. Now they attack for 3. We gain 2 of it back. We attack the invasion. The phantom blocks. And then they're in top deck mode again. Oh, they double attack? They just don't care? Okay. Fair enough. I'm sorry. Oh, Soldier comes in. Guess it's like worst case scenario. What do we take from them? Probably what they're thinking. Away. I've gained 2 life this turn. Gained 4. How much does Resplendent Angel require? 5. Tough day. It's gonna be Voice of the Blessed probably. Either way. Attack here. Sure. Just unless we have anything cool. I don't think we really have anything. Okay. A 4/4 copy of anything. Like I said, I'm gonna make a Voice of the Blessed. Already starts out as a 4/4, so that seems pretty cool. And this is 3 to activate, so we can then do Invasion, which they have an empty hand. Obviously, go for the throw. It's like fine. I kind of want to flip this though. I don't really need to, but I want to. Huh? I wanna. I have a pretty large creature in play. Go to 10. Attack here. That's 6. That's 7. I mean, it's like fine to do this, I think. Because they either have to remove my 5/5, which trades off anything they have. And then I still don't die if they attack out. And then I have a Shieldred and a bird in the air, which is 8 damage alone every turn. We might even flip both invasions right away. You just put more in, because I think realistically with these invasions going the way they are, sure, I'll just take that. And then I would probably make a copy of Resplendent Angel at that point. Go first. We have Bat on 2, Rafine on 3, and then potentially. I mean, this is a curve of curves, so yeah, we'll take it for sure. We'll start off with a Sequin Coast. If we find the fast black land, I can't remember what it's called. That'd be great, but we're gonna play this. We're gonna play our Bat. Realistically, it's any removal, but holy sports. Thalia is not that important. Vanguard is important. Guardian's annoying. Guardian more annoying than this? I think Guardian is like the most annoying card in this hand. Because it's just like the hard one to remove. And can grow and scry and manipulate top of their deck. So I think Guardian's my take. Which is a weird thing to like say out loud. But what are you gonna play now? We don't take Thalia, so that might be a sign that we don't need Thalia. Like we don't care about it, but they say no thank you, regardless. We have another bat, which could take the thing, but I'm gonna establish a Rafine to try and draw cards, make this bat bigger, guaranteed, and then the life gain it'll do will actually serve a big purpose here. Now, next turn, I can double attack. I don't have a second black mana to play Shielded post-combat, but their attack with Thalia is kind of... well, they sacrifice the Thalia to make the Hopeful Initiative bigger, and they do not. I think a double attack here makes sense. They're missing lands, and I do believe we have a potential chance to outpace them here. I can double spell if I keep those, but I think that's not great. Do that. I think this is a good creature. Bat's like solid. It's just this, and then probably like Deserted Beach because Odawara can act as a spell regardless. Make that a little bit bigger. We'll hit and hit. Play Deserted Beach. Play the bat. Another look. Well, that's a pretty clean answer. Thalia is doing nothing. Adversary is kind of doing nothing. A big attack here, we just don't care. No blocks. The life we're gaining off this on the back end is so much higher. Now I can actually afford to hold Rafine back. Ganja is a good draw, maybe not the best draw. Actually, it's an incredible draw here. You play Odawara, black, blue. We'll just play Shielded first. The reason this is such a good draw is because now that we have two legendary creatures, which makes Ganja 1 mana. And I will hold the Rafine back because it's kind of shoulder checking the Thalia, and we have to be careful of the Foundry attack, and then Brutal Cathar is obviously devastating. But we'll spread the love here, make a couple of these about the same size. Then both of those. Gain a lot more life back. Now we have two 6/6 lifelink, or two 3/3s for 6 lifelink in the air. A little bit ahead of myself. Down to 8. We have a nice 4/5 blocker. We have a 1/4 blocker. And it's just going to be curtains from there. Because now it is, they take 2, go down to 6. They cannot remove either of these flyers, regardless of what they do. Because they're like, of course, on one hand, you're like, I want to kill Shielded. But if they don't remove either of these regardless, it's going to be enough to come in and be lethal. So taking out Mono White Human is probably one of the better aggro decks out there, so that's pretty nice, pretty solid. We get to keep here. Now it's like the Siren is like a fine play on 1. Over trying to play Dinic on 2, I think. The reason for that is being that we can still activate the map token on the Siren and get a little more value. And who knows, we might draw an untapped source on 2 regardless to play the Dinic. I think about any source is good. Yeah, and just like that, we get the Dinic down on 2. We attack for 1. 12 annoying as is. It kind of depends what matchup this is. Poison? Ugh. That's not good. Alright, well, now we have decisions. I think it is Rafine first. I think Rafine first, double attack here. Weirdly enough, I know lifelink matters a lot of the time, not as much here. Let invasion go, let a land go. And now if we can get like a creature in the bin, although this can't remove Rel from the battlefield, which is a tough ask regardless. But will they be able to handle our flyers in time? That's kind of the problem here for them, I think. So that's invasion. Hopefully we hit something good. Regardless. Well, we hit the big bat. What does expel do? Choose number 0 between 10. Destroy all those. Yeah. They have ways to destroy creatures in an awkward way. They discard another Skrelv. Double down here. Double here. Yeah, and that's fine. And then we'll put the counters here. Get to draw 3. Malcolm, Dennick. Womp can go. Inganjo's a spell here. So, and it's colorless. So Skrelv doesn't protect anything from it. A little bit farther. So invasion comes back. Do this. We'll have it copy our bat in the graveyard. So it enters the battlefield as a copy of a creature, therefore it doesn't target anything. Then, no, we want to hold back the Inganjo mana. Although, regardless, I don't think it matter too much. We kind of need like a turn 2 to populate kind of thing, but that's not going to do it. Because now we have lethal in the air, we have discards, we have go for the throat, we have Inganjo backup. Obviously they don't know what's in our hand, but regardless, we are curving out well and just doing fine. Opponent goes first, but we have like good hand. All our lands come in tapped. We have nice 2-drops, like depending on the matchup that we need. We can play a Dennick, like super aggro, which you see it is. Now it doesn't really matter. I think I keep Rafine's Tower just in case of having to cycle it later. Whereas like this mana down here should be enough to set us up. Maybe it won't. And of course. Yeah, Thalia. Oh, that's good. Now we can set Dennick in play, or we can look at their hand and try to find an Adeline, and I think that's good. What? Sure. Yes. Feels like a weird addition to add into our humans deck. Oh my, what a find, dude. What a find to follow that up. Like, it's not a human either, so like roaming throne doesn't really do it. Try the top, you're gonna get Kellen value. Oh, they're not gonna get Kellen value, I guess, but the get lost will do it regardless. Artifacts enter under my for me. Wow. How quick this game has kind of changed. But we know they drawing get lost. The Deep Cavern Bat's probably the target. Could play Rafine and attack, try to find like more removal. I think that's probably the answer. And Rafine now becomes kind of like potentially the target. Just in case of that, I'll let one of the other bats go because they're low on cards. This bat will come in and take out the roaming throne regardless. Maybe they'll get lost their own creature. That'd be kind of cool, but I doubt it. Yeah, so as I thought, Rafine would now become the target. That's why I didn't want to discard my other Rafine. Get attack for quite a bit here. They might scry. So I think they're taking a lot off the table in terms of just attacking here. I know they're trying to get this bigger, but what happens if I didn't go for the throat it? Now all the damage you could have done is not there anymore. But who am I? Not myself. Trying to keep on top, and I think that's because it'll stall. Sorry, my phone popped off. Probably trying to decide if they want to keep on top, which will then stall the roaming throne from coming down another turn. Then the Kellen attack will be kind of whatever. We'll see. I'm probably kind of depending what happens, whether or not I end up playing Decklist plus Bat, and then playing Rafine. Describe at the top. We'll see what it is because this will explore. Kind of. It is a land. Leave it there. So based on that information, now it's definitely. I guess I can get this down now, huh? Let's definitely play this. Play the bat. Good look. Take the roaming throne. Now we could cut down something if we want. I still don't think I'm. I mean, this is kind of gatekeeping these alone. I guess we just cut down the Kellen. We know their draw for turn, and if they want to keep scrying, so be it. I'm actually more inclined to attack because I know this holds these back, but also it gains the same life back, and now we can just afford to be aggressive. Because we do have flyers, and now we'll just play a game of race. Great draw, incredible draw. Now it is. Turn that into a treasure, which it shouldn't enter the battlefield, I don't think. Yeah, I would say it shouldn't enter the battlefield, it should just be there. Now we'll play a Decklist, which will then gatekeep. And next turn we'll play Rafine and we'll just see what happens. There's a land, sure. Those will get a little bit bigger, but the problem is the pacing over the top, it's a lot. There's 5. Attack with the wormlet, I'll block it. Ooh. Okay, well, game's not over. Good draw on the top. Play Rafine. Good combat. Let's. Roaming Throne seems like the likely option of what they take. As a ward, they can pay it. Is it 2 or less? Let's do it here. Discard, discard, and discard. The reason we're discarding this bat is because it won't have the value that this kite sail will. I could have activated these, maybe drew a couple more cards. Put on the Decklist here. Gunnar. We'll decide on that again. Gunnar seems a little bit slow now. Let's put it on Rafine, make Rafine a little bit more dangerous. Spread out our power and toughness. And now, regardless of what they do, it's very possible that we just find lethal. Which I guess I should have then left Schooner on top, so I'd have discards with Rafine. I think they're gonna have to take Rafine here. Because if they don't, sure, they can take the Deep Cavern back, get their Roaming Throne, or get their Packle back. But then, if Rafine allows us to find the lethal, what do you do? Oh, they take that to get their. Oh yeah, because it'll be a flyer, but we have it covered regardless. A lot of damage. It doesn't suffer from suffer here from anything. Land on top, it's tough. They scry to the bottom. I mean, realistically, we just kind of chump block here. Then we will come back the other way for potentially lethal. We'll see. Also, you might be thinking, wow, we can kite sail. We can kite sail. Don't do it. Crap. It kind of did it. I feel like that was your plan regardless. Maybe you should have done that beforehand. But this says until this leaves the battlefield. Technically, it'll still be named and on the battlefield, so we won't get this back if we were to turn it into a treasure, by the way. So we'll play this. We will mint 0 of ours. Fuck that back. This still has Death Touch, which is kind of annoying, but I'm going to attack out and force to block. Here go. Go. Mamma mia, mamacita. Yeah, this seems pretty solid, right? Because Bean Tower 1, River on 2, go for the throat, or then the Malcolm, kind of just based on the matchup. Then Malcolm can come in later, and then it works out pretty well with Rafine. A white source. I still think Malcolm Flash is where I want to be, even though that does open us up to a make disappear. Flash it in. Oh, soldiers. Okay. That's fine. Kind of a weird draw there. Or a weird, like, play to some extent, I think. But we're definitely going to take our value while we can. Let's just get that out of the way. We have an additional go for the throat on the back end, but we want to start triggering Malcolm if we can. Raw Schooner is actually fine, but what do we end up discarding with this? I like my hand. I like playing another flyer because with Rafine backup, so I think Schooner is actually the go, unless we think the land should have went, which is possible because we're most likely going to draw more with Rafine. It kind of depends. If they play another flyer and it gets in our way, then we're kind of annoyed. Second land opens up the opportunity to flash one of these in. Now we can deep cavern bat if we want, but I kind of like playing Rafine over everything, but that doesn't work out well. So let us bat right away. Take a look. Now if they're going to flash something, they're going to do it now. And now we'll get full information, know how to operate our turns throughout the game. Yeah, so Knight Errant's bad, because that's a refill. The Sentinel is kind of whatever. Bunnycorn is also equally as bad. What is worse? Bunnycorn we can kind of chump. We have a go for the throat in hand. We might just have to let the Sentinel trade off something. Just have to live with that. If it bounces something, it gets a counter. I think I take Knight here. And I go up to combat with Malcolm, and I just offer the trade. Be pretty clean cut that this is what I'm doing. All fine. Now they haven't Gonjo as well, so there's something we have to look out for. Choose not to do bounce. Well, I guess if you're going to trade it, there's no point regardless. If I'd attack Spyglass, I definitely could have seen it happening the opposite way, where they block Spyglass, take the value, but maybe they want Malcolm just off the board, which is fine. You just want to make sure that we can take out the bunny. With Nganjo in hand, they could argue to maybe do something else. This is on the stack, so they can't play another mana source. Like they can't play Nganjo, and then maybe they would have drawn another Sentinel. I know it's unlikely, but regardless, I'm playing around it. That is fine. Looks like Shore is going to stay in hand. We're going to play Rafine. Could draw and untap land, so I'm not going to stack the map now. Obviously, we target the bat. Bend both these. Nothing really grows. Activate here, targeting the Siren actually this time. That's already a target. Invasion is fantastic. We'll just play the land now. Probably have to do an all-out attack on the invasion, and then we'll probably bring back the bunny, because the bunny will start out naturally as a 4/4 and then grow. Good. I think, yeah, it keeps the text, so instead of it being an XX, it'll be a 4/4. But now they have flash things, so we'll slam this invasion. Gonjo's the problem. Gonjo is the problem. So I can't really just attack now. Unless they tap out. They kind of did. I think they conceded, but I don't think they were necessarily in as bad of a spot as they thought. I mean, it is a tough spot. It's not a great spot. But you did have, like, a removal spell for anything here. You had it, but... You want to leave? Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Okay, so the Flappy Birds inbound. The only thing not flapping is shielded, of course. But I like the deck. I think it's really cool. I think this is a deck where invasion actually makes sense. A lot of the reanimate decks are more on the, like, I guess makes sense in the term of competitive play. I think Invasion a lot of times is played in those reanimator piles where like you'll see some people play like Render Inert or something like that, which like removes counters on something, I think up to 5. So they'll take the counters off that way, or they'll just be like Dirtling. They'll use like things like Faithful Mending or Tainted Indulgence, things like that to like draw and discard and do that. And then it just always like it'll get you every now and then, and like that's the thing about like a all-in pile like that. Sometimes it'll get you and you'll be like, man, that deck's insane, but then you try it and you're like, oh, here's the other 70% of what happens with that deck, and then it just doesn't feel as good. But here I think Invasion finds a really, really nice home. I guess I can highlight it so it's up on the screen, you know, instead of just talking about it. But this finds like a really, really nice home here, so that's like very exciting overall, and I like that a lot. I like to draw. It gives me a lot of the one that has, if you connive, you put it back in your hand, back from Ravnica, I think. I don't remember the card name, but it's 3 mana. It made them discard, you drew a card, and if you not connive, if you surveil, it would do it. I can't think of the card name right now. So it gives me a lot of that vibe, and I enjoy that a lot. But the other thing that this deck does that I do like as well is we're not super light on removal, but we're not super heavy either. We fit in that pretty much like that tempo category here, where like we're not 4 stacked on go for the throat, and we're not like up to 3 on the cut down, which can typically be really bad draws in, say, like the control matchups, which a lot of times is like one of these things is downfall. It's like you play a thing, and then you get sunfalled, but then we are stuck with removal in hand a lot of the times. But obviously Rafine helps mitigate that, especially just throwing them away in those matchups. But then getting things like Schooner, which can avoid sunfall, but then come in off a silly little Spyglass Siren in terms of being a attack threat. Outside of that, the discard helps in those matchups as well, where we're not just dead to them. We can actually slow it down, play a little bit more of a discard style deck, and then use Shielded to its best capabilities where our opponent's in top deck mode. And this is just draining without attacking. And when they're holding up mana, we just don't attack with it to get it exiled to a Wandering Emperor. Or we can do things where then, yeah, we just play like the Deep Cavern Bat, look at their hand, and if it's a Wandering Emperor, of course they'll have to flash it in, then we obviously don't attack into it. Then Evasion does well there as well, and then hitting anything important, and then hitting the Evasion and flipping it out, and just making it a little bit better that way is also really nice. So there's a lot going on for the deck. There's a lot of tempo. There's a lot of really nice I don't want to say aggro, because we are an aggro deck to an extent, but we typically do it a little bit later. But because of that, we can generally trample over these smaller aggro decks, where normally like with these you're wanting to block and trade and kind of slow the game down. Sometimes because we're just playing flyers, we just don't care. We swing and say, well, we attacked first. We have slightly more damage, so we will outpace you. So you have to answer us, or you have to figure out some kind of strategy to start blocking our flyers. And then as soon as they do, that's when we go for the throat. That's when we either, I guess, on terms of removal as well, that's either when we kite sail it out of the way. This card is coming clutch more times than I thought it would today. It turned a 10-10 into a treasure, in which our opponent sacrificed immediately, which was insane. So, you know, very cool card in that regard. And then we, of course, have to go for the throats and the cut downs to kind of remove aggro early as well. Overall, I think the deck's really fun. I definitely think it's good. You have a lot of the cards that are very frustrating to play against. In terms of like cards that are frustrating to play against, like kind of the Siren and the Schooner are kind of like a combo together. Dennick's not necessarily that bad unless you're playing mono red. Shieldred's obviously annoying, but if you have removal, it's whatever. But Rafine's also annoying because it has that ward. This card, if gone unchecked, is annoying because then it's attacking, making you discard. And then, of course, we got that Deep Cavern Bat that's just taking the removal away to allow us to get to these type of things. Because on turn 4, like, this card's not that bad. Turn 3 is not bad, clearing away for a Shieldred or this. than invasion as well. So other than that, I really enjoyed the list. I hope you all enjoyed the video today, and I'm going to call it there. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.